Welcome to our live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studios. Happy New Year's. We had to move our show because the school board is doing a weekly show. It's 7 o'clock every Tuesday night. Welcome to Thursday night, our first edition. The gang's all here. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Chip Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier wasn't supposed to be here. And of course, he's one of the most contrary guys I know. He sent me a message this week. That other show I'm on that's great got canceled. So Smoking Jim's here to entertain us. Hopefully not as well as he did last year, because he was over the edge the last month of the year. He was in rare form. I think all his meds are working, and he seems to be walking much better than he did last year. So I'm proud to say that. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7 in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. We appreciate you. And thanks also for watching us during all this COVID and the pandemic raging and getting worse every day. Set a new record of people dying. 3,865 people died, so unbelievable, but we have entertainment for you. So thank you for all the Facebook likes, 6924. So we appreciate that. And I have some promos here. We got Connor here. We got Nick here. We got Anthony. And the first one is, let's see how Connor can do with this. Perfect.
Dude, Hall of Fame right
Olive
there.
Oil's
Hall
Pizzeria, 412-831-1900, Hillcrest Shopping Center. Great Italian food, salads, spaghetti, pasta, pizza, hoagies, you name it, they got it. Even their wings are good. I've eaten wings before, Smoking Jim there. I think they're better than Kentucky Fried. You got to go there someday. Tell them Al Levine, the talking machine, sent you. Maybe Frank, the owner, will even be there. Who knows? He loves you anyhow. Next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Poor Joey died at 9 years old, just before his 10th birthday 6 years ago. His family, that's the second child they've lost. They started the Joey Thabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. They're a 501c3. You can donate money there, time there when they have events. Hopefully with COVID getting, maybe a little less terrible, not yet. And with vaccines coming out slowly, not fast enough. But other than that, maybe events and stuff will start happening again legally, so we'll see what happens. Next up, another 501c3, Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. I always tell you that old trolley's there, not a T, red trolley. Check it out. They have different businesses there, dance studio. They have my favorite green tea place, Reginald's Coffee. Check them out, they're open. Go get a spot of green tea for you. And they have other businesses there, put on new windows, new roof, everything. It's a great place to be for events, great library they have there. They got all the Bethel Park High School books going way back to when Bethel Park High School started, so check it out. Next up, Dave Cable. Look at this. Look what Connor come up with. That's me, smiling as Uncle Sam. Dave likes to have a little fun. That's Dave Cable, the director. He goes, tell them Uncle Al Levine, the talking machine, wants you for BPTV, like Connor, Anthony, and Nick. 412-831-3304. You can be a volunteer. You can be an intern if you're going to school for this. We have scholarships that can help you. So come on out, help us with cameras, audio, video, and even, thanks to Elaine Volpe, look at this. She does a cooking show. look at the gingerbread man. Smoking Jim's never had a gingerbread man, and he refused to eat these delicious. I got to take another bite. Chip and I will take care of him, but thanks, Elaine.
Save some for Connor.
Connor ate
Connor
one.
already had one. Huh?
He's quicker than you, and he doesn't agree with you.
We're not selfish here. We make them available to everybody.
Yes, yes. And I got another promo here to go, but I had to give that shout out to Miss Elaine, Children's Library. Just check her out. Tell her that Al Levine said she makes the best gingerbread man cookies that he's ever eaten. So, eaten. Next up, wow, he got it ready. Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. bpcf.org. $100 to $5,000 for your group and organization doing good things in Bethel Park. Not the Smoking Jim, I need money to bet $250 a day fund. You can't do that. He got to get a GoFundMe page, but he doesn't do payments online, so he's out of luck. That's the little scoop on my buddy. But we've given out over $1 million. I say we because I'm a trustee on the board the last few years. Go get an application. I think we have a meeting in January if things hold up. So bring your application in. We'll see if we can get money for you. Check it out. Next up, I got to test Connor. They were asking me if I would do this. I'm a little bit nervous here. I'm shaking a little. Let's see what Connor can do.
Boom.
Look at that.
Money shot.
Unbelievable. Skeets Service Station, sponsored by Skeets Lewandowski. They sponsor What's on Your Mind, 724-348-4715. About 6 miles from here in Finleyville, right on Route 88, red, white, and blue station on your right. Past Trax Farm, you can't miss it. Past the Dairy Queen there is just a quarter-mile away. I've been there a couple times. Blizzards are one of my favorites, so I know it. He has a nice smorgasbord he puts out there. He showed he had a Mediterranean buffet the other day. Smoking Jim doesn't have a clue on that one, but he's been out there. He's had his car inspected like I do. They work on anything and everything that runs on gas. You name it. Boats, trucks, cars, tractors, anything. Weed whackers, hedge trimmers. And they also do electronic devices, hedge trimmers, weed whackers, etc., even electric tools. So check it out and give them a call again, 724-348-4715. Tell them the Talking Machine sent you. All right, since we got a sponsor for What's on Your Mind, Smoking Jim, glad to see you. Happy New Year, brother. What's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. If you want the green,
Hard fastball.
you got to see Levine.
Looked like Chase Claypool there.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, 2020 was the year of the voter fraud, but I hope they get it right in 2021 with
Disclaimer.
What?
Disclaimer. We don't like misinformation on here, and we don't talk politics. But I got to disagree 100% with my friend. Let me explain something very simple to a man who's never voted. There was no election fraud. They had 60 lawsuits.
I did the mail-in vote.
Even Republican judges said no fraud. So Smoking Jim, if we continue to let him talk, I'll have to do a disclaimer each time he lies. But try to behave yourself, especially with politics.
Well, in 2021, I hope everything goes right and T.J. Watt wins the defensive MVP. I've said since he was a rookie that he was the best linebacker in Steeler history. Now I'm saying he's the best defensive player in Steeler history, and he's deserving of that award. But Aaron Donald is going to be right there nipping at his heels.
It's going to be hard to beat Aaron Donald.
I actually saw a projection. They haven't been announced yet where Aaron Rodgers, they picked as MVP, that they picked Aaron Donald as defensive most valuable player, and they Aaron Donald. And Derrick Henry as offensive player of the year.
Well, I think it should be a co-MVP offensively with Derrick Henry and Aaron Rodgers, like they did Barry Sanders when he went over 2,000, and the greatest quarterback in NFL history, Brett Favre. also got co-MVP. Hey, before that year, before the Steeler game, there's a picture of Mason Rudolph and Myles Garrett talking. I assume that he apologized to Myles Garrett because
Disclaimer, he's talking about a known liar,
No.
and that's Myles Garrett. They weren't talking
No, but they
about
had a civil exchange, is
They
what they
had a
had.
civil exchange.
They wished each other well, and they basically
Yeah, I
the issue from
apologize.
last year is put behind them.
Yeah, I apologize.
Disclaimer, no apology was ever
How you
mentioned.
know? We don't know.
I talked to
Yeah,
him.
well,
But
I have my connections that are as good
Just
as
like you
yours.
don't know,
because
like,
of
what
the
he would-
conversation, it looked like Mason Rudolph was back at his old self. He played like he played in college when I kind of compared him to Aaron Rodgers when he was in college, over 300 yards. But what I'm seeing, Al Levine, the talking machine, and Chip Hainer finally, I see the Pittsburgh Steelers as a team that lost 4 out of the last 5 games. We know that Coach Tomlin will not get the Coach of the Year. We know Big Ben won't get a vote for MVP. They jumped out to 11-0 because they was playing quarterbacks by the name of Brandon Allen, Jake Luton, Tracy McFarley, Ryan Finley, Garrett Gilbert, Cooper Rush, RG Me, and now they're playing the greatest Cleveland Brown player since Jimmy Brown. Shaken Baker Mayfield won the Heisman Trophy, 75 touchdowns in 3 years, and just like Cleveland, Shake and Bake Mayfield will turn Heinz Field into his house on Saturday night. And that's what's on my mind.
We'll talk more
Shake and
about
bake.
Steelers
Shake
later.
and bake.
Steelers later. And Smoking Jim, I want to just congratulate you in 2021 that you did your homework and you wrote more on one piece of paper than you did all last year.
All through college.
No, for all you fans out there, we've been doing a show over 9 years. First time we're on Thursday, so I'm cutting loose a little bit. Not criticizing Smoking, he makes it too easy. But he's had a blank sheet of paper there for almost 9 years. And I caught him. He had about 9 names written down there and a few other words. Because I can see over there on that white paper, if Connor could pull in on that white
I had
paper.
to write in color. I write in color.
Hold it, wait, hold that up. Let
I
Connor,
write in color.
easy, hold it still. Okay. Connor, great job.
Am I the only writer that writes in color?
No, sir. I did that when I was a child. We had something, a little trivia on me. My 3 sisters and I had something called crayons,
Okay.
and we used them in coloring books, and we'd write stories in color. And we were just young folks. Thank you, Smoking Jim. Glad we could accent that. Chip Hainer, what's on your mind?
Connor, cue in on this shirt, would you? To respond to Jim's comment about Wake and Bake Mayfield. Okay. Yeah, this is what's going to happen this weekend. It's going to be won, not done. Okay.
Wow. Wow. I like that, Chip. Nice.
You set me up.
I was looking at your shirt before, and I'm like figuring out, what is that?
Okay, yeah, it's going to be won, not done. And the only reason I'm saying this is because Wake and Bake Mayfield barely beat the Steelers JV team last week without the NFL Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt, without Cam Hayward wrecking the middle of the line, and without Big Ben Roethlisberger, who has done nothing but own the Cleveland Browns, and up until halfway through this season, been the winningest quarterback in Cleveland Browns Stadium in the last 20 years. So, Ben's going to show Wake and Bake exactly why he's his little brother this weekend. If I can only stay awake for the game, you have to put our game on last, right? Well past my bedtime at 8:15.
Right.
I'm off on Monday.
Well, I'm not.
Disclaimer, he's off every day.
So, if you want to know what's on my mind, all the events
Every
that have
day.
happened in the country in the last few days, I want to get fired up about something else, something that doesn't matter one way or the other. But what's got me fired up is the fact that Ohio State Buckeyes are playing for the National College Football Championship against the Alabama Crimson Tide. And here's what bothers me. Now, all of a sudden, Ohio State's got another outbreak of COVID, and they're talking about the potential for the game being postponed. And I think that is a bunch of BS, because if Ohio State is incapable of playing the game when it's scheduled on Monday night, Alabama needs to be declared the national champion. Goodbye, Buckeyes. Why do we have to have a special set of rules for one college team? They all should be treated equally, and that's about all I'm going to say about that. My final in closing on what's on my mind. Last Tuesday, I asked Smokin' Jim about the Heisman Trophy candidates. Well, this Tuesday, the Heisman Trophy candidate was selected. Devontae Smith from the Alabama Crimson Tide, 106 catches, over 1,600 yards receiving, and 20 touchdowns in 12 games. The young man was clearly head and shoulders above all other wide receivers in college football this year. And the interesting thing is, he won't be the first pick in the draft as far as wide receivers go. The young man named Chase from LSU is slated to be first, and I find that kind of amusing. But congratulations to Devontae Smith. Clearly was head and shoulders the best college football player on the field this year.
Great
That's
point,
what's
Chip.
on my mind.
Thank you. Glad we got it out. I'll talk Steelers later, because I forgot they played the other day. I didn't expect much. Hey, what surprised me is being off Tuesday, there was a Pitt basketball game, and they're playing Syracuse. And I'm watching the game, and I'm looking like, wow, Pitt's not even in this game. All of a sudden, in the last quarter, they were in the game. It was nip and tuck.
They were down by 18.
Right. It was
11 minutes left.
You're exactly right. I didn't want to share those details because my son and I, during the COVID, we're watching these sports, and we're like, how can we watch another game like this? And he's flipping the channel to other teams. I said, turn back. Let's see how they're doing. They're down like 8 points, 6 points, 3 points. All of a sudden, they're tied. And they ended up winning the game.
63-60.
Yeah. And they got a three-pointer at the end that broke the tie. And then the guy's at half court, and I'm like, oh, no, he's going to shoot. He hit the rim from the half court mark.
Clank.
And I'm like, Capel's a good coach. Look what he did. And I was happy to watch that game and watch the whole thing.
The interesting thing about that game, and I caught the game when I got out of work and got the radio on, listening to it on my ride home, and I saw that Pitt was down by 14 points at the half. Okay. And Pitt hadn't played a game in 31 days.
I know.
Because of various COVID-related issues.
Yeah.
Whether it was with their team or the opponents, and to not have played in 31 days. And I just thought that they were going to get run out, right? Because I don't think that on Capel's watch that Pitt has beat Syracuse.
No, I don't think they
have. And they were getting run out of the court,
right,
in the Carrier Dome, and fortunately they were playing in the empty Carrier Dome, and it sounded like they were playing in a high school gym is what it sounded like on the radio, because just listening to sports and watching sports without the crowds takes some getting used to. And yes, go ahead, Jim.
Is your radio in your car broke? You only get FM, AM, or
no?
Because I got XM radio, and there ain't no way I'm listening to the Pitt basketball game.
I got an
on
FM radio. I
with
listen.
all them tennis shoes.
Well,
that's all you hear.
Squeaking.
Here's what you got to understand, Jim. See, I'll listen to any game. I listen to any game that's on. Because I don't worry about it, because I don't bet the games. You see. And remember, everybody,
you got one of them stations, you got to get it just right.
He guaranteed a Steelers victory by telling you he's going to be betting heavy money on the Browns.
And I'm getting points.
Remember the last time they played at Heinz Field? Do you remember the score?
Baker Mayfield had
38-7.
Baker had severely bad ribs. Remember that?
Yeah, they'll put a little hot sauce on him.
He had a bad arm that day. He had the bad arm.
Hey, I remember when Coach Tomlin said the team sucked because when they played the Ravens that had 30 people with COVID and the Steelers almost lost.
Right.
Don't count out.
Oh, and I will tell you this. Straight up. If the Steelers do not take this game seriously, if they think they've already got the game won, they will lose. I just don't think that's going to happen.
I got the key to victory when we talk Steelers and how
can't
Cleveland's
wait.
going to win. I got the key.
Okay, what is it? Drag racing and smoking joints?
We'll come back with that.
I got the key.
But, hey, thanks for the little interruptions on mine. I appreciate it. Welcome to 2021. Hope you're enjoying the show. Don't change that dial. We'll be back with Smokin' Jim's Fiction and Fact from his almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, Chip Hayner. My favorite soccer player, Connor, is back, man. We missed him last week. How about my main man, Anthony? Never a hair out of place, working the ones and twos, helping us out. And my favorite CEO, Nick. With the corner office, man. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine. I've been trying to get a promotion on my job for 12 years.
Yeah.
I changed my resume this week and said I went to Keystone Oaks and I got the promotion, man. Yes, baby.
Hold it. 1 second. You had to mention my name.
Yeah. I mentioned a lot of names. Al Levine, the talking machine. My favorite fullback, Nick. I said the Nelson twins. They said, you got it.
You should have put the Werner brothers in there.
Huh?
The Werner brothers, John and Jeff.
I didn't know them.
Yeah, Jeff was the center. John went
He
to
thought
Duquesne.
you meant Warner Brothers, and he was
Yeah.
thinking about
Werner,
Bugs Bunny
W-E-R-N-E-R.
and Daffy Duck.
Jeff Werner was 6'11". That was my best friend in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I never told you those stories, buddy.
Speaking of best friends, I'll go real quick because I want to get the Steeler talk. But hey,
Go ahead.
on Monday, January 11th, I'm very humbled. Whoa.
Who's talking to you?
Everybody's coming through. I'm being, that's the FCC probably. I've been suspended so many times. But they're doing a 1-hour documentary, a podcast on my life. So I'm very humbled
Who
that
is?
somebody would be doing that.
Who is?
And because of that, it led me to a fiction and fact. One of the guys that I used to play college football with, Butch Ramsey,
What year?
posted something on
You'll find
Facebook
out.
this week and said I was the best player he ever played with. So
I saw that.
it's nice to be remembered. So my
He
fiction
said
and-
you had good hands and you were very fast.
and he said I was hard.
Nah.
Hard-headed.
But so my fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac is Butch Ramsey. I never heard of Montour High School when I was in college. So Butch
Just
Ramsey,
ask him if his coach was Tony Russo.
I won't be able to remember that.
Write it down. Write
I don't
it.
know how to spell Russo.
Write it in green. That was my dad's
Tony-
best friend.
Tony
He was-
Russo?
Tony.
Okay.
Like Anthony's Tony, that Tony, and Tony from
We haven't
Chick-fil-A's
talked in
watching.
20 years. But
Tony Russo.
But we haven't talked in 20
No,
years.
no, he
but
was
I'll
on our
talk
show
about-
and you talked
Yeah,
to him.
that's
His
it.
daughter was on our show and you
Beautiful,
talked to him.
Beautiful, yeah. Well,
Go ahead, get with your point.
Butchie was all WPIL and all state coming out of high school.
Montour.
A nose guard. You know, I never heard of Montour, so I knew it was a WPIL school.
And you didn't know
because-
Peters Township,
Because I
so
didn't know if it was from, we had players from Ohio, we had players from New Jersey, we had players from all over, so I didn't know.
right.
So he came in.
You didn't get around much.
He was a year behind me in school.
Okay.
So
What
he
year?
came in, and the only thing I remembered about Butch Ramsey, if there was 5 or 6 or 7 string of nose guards, he would have been 8th string. You know, and the only thing I remembered about Butch Ramsey his freshman year was 2 things. Number 1, he was allergic to bees.
Okay.
So he got stung one practice. They had to drag him, they had to carry him off in the ambulance.
You swell
He's
up.
yelling and screaming, yeah, I thought he was going to die.
You can
But I
die.
didn't know him.
People
it didn't-
die.
It didn't affect me that much.
Ah.
But I also knew he brought his high school sweetheart. She was the most beautiful girl on campus. They might even been living together illegally in the boys' dorm. But she dressed like a model, looked like a model. She was freaking beautiful. So what they used to do in college.
Don't tell us the details.
if they thought
It's
you-
a family
Oh, no, none of that, none of
friendly
that.
show.
None of that.
Family friendly.
But what they would do, Chip, if they wanted to get rid of you, they would blow your red shirt. So Butchie didn't play at all year long, not even JV. The last game of the season, if you play one play, you blow your red shirt. They put him in because they wanted to get rid of him, right? After the season, Butchie only weighed between 182 and 190. How you going to play nose guard that little?
Right.
Butchie comes to my house. I had a house by my sophomore year. Butchie comes to my house. He says, hey, can you work with me and help me be a safety? So I said, yeah. So I just happened to accumulate about 50 balls over the years. I had a bag of balls. I tell you what, you got a better chance of getting a white guy to play cornerback in the NFL than he ever had of playing safety. Man, listen, if he had to catch one ball and we go home, we still be there. 2 left feet, 2 left hands, all thumbs on his fingers, right? We would practice in the morning and in the evening. I mean, so one day I'm over at the coach's office because I'd rather go to watch game film than watch. This season's over. I'd rather watch game film than go to class.
Okay.
And also, they had a pretty secretary. Our defensive coordinator.
What was her name?
She was beautiful.
Good.
So I'm hitting on her. Our defensive coordinator was Dick Haley's brother, Todd Haley's uncle, Bob Haley, the meanest, nastiest, never had a good thing to say about nobody in his life.
Except you.
So I come in and hit on the secretary, who's there but Bob Haley. He says, Frazier, get in here. Oh, man, I'm like, what am I going to do? It's almost lunchtime, man. I thought he was going to write me up for not going to class. I go in. He said, watch this tape. It was 10 plays in the last game. Butch Ramsey at nose guard. Made every freaking tackle, was unbelievable, unblockable. Unbelievable, man. He was like Alan Page and Mean Joe Green together.
Wow.
He ended up starting as a sophomore and junior. He was an All-American. Then we got an Italian coach named Jeff Petrucci, great coach. You guys know Dino DiCario's restaurant out there in Latrobe? Dino's?
No. Yes, I do.
Well,
I know of it.
Great wings.
Dino, who's also Italian, little nepotism, they started him in front of Butchie's senior year. Now, Dino was good, and he got some good wings, but he ended up starting to kind of broke Butchie's heart. But Butch Ramsey was the quickest. He was an unblockable nose guard. Referees would throw flags because they were like, he has to be offsides. He was that quick. The quarterback be turning, he'd be tackling. He was the most unbelievable 190-pound college nose guard, All-American.
Who couldn't catch a ball.
That ended up being benched his senior year, broke his heart. He ended up being his service. He was a Green Beret
he was a good man.
In the Army. He did a lot for our country. So, hey, shout out to my main man, Butch Ramsey, college All-American nose guard, unbelievably quick. And you remember Alan Page, don't you?
Oh, yes, I do.
How about Mean Joe Green?
No,
He had that kind of quickness. You couldn't
Alan
block
Page
this guy.
was one of the Purple People Eaters.
Yeah.
And who were the other three?
It was Jim Marshall,
Okay,
Carl Eller,
correct?
and was it a white guy?
Yes, it was.
I forget him.
Gary Larson.
You sure?
You fact-checking me again?
You sure?
Are you fact-checking me again?
How come I keep forgetting the white guy? But they were great, man. They were great.
That's because of the race card. First time, Tony, if you're watching, first time he brought the race card up in 2021. One of many.
I know.
I remember Merlin Olsen from the Rams.
The Fearsome Forces.
Yes,
A white guy.
Who were the other ones?
Deacon Jones.
Deacon Jones. Merlin
Ernie
Olsen.
Ladd.
And Lamar Lundy.
Lamar Lundy.
Wow.
He died, didn't he?
Yes,
Didn't
he
die?
did. Yes, he did.
All of them died, though.
Yeah, they got old.
But he died.
So,
You know, old age is the toughest battle you have.
Smoking, don't fact-check me,
I
brother.
know, you the man.
Don't fact
I
check
still
me.
can't believe Doc Ellis passed away.
Yeah.
And I apologize to his family if I offended him.
You
I
did.
didn't know he had died 10
They
12
listened to the
years ago.
show.
How did I miss that?
Easy. My man, you
I gotta
went.
get back to the hood.
No, let me
But the
explain.
important thing
You went,
is I
you went to
didn't.
Gateway, you missed a lot of things.
One thing I'm gonna talk about on my 1 hour documentary, which I felt
Where's that
going to
be on? Where's that going to be?
Monday.
Where
On
at?
what?
It's gonna be a podcast.
Where at?
And you only get radio. You don't get access.
I get
radio.
podcasts.
Yeah, I don't get pods.
But I'm gonna talk about my baseball career. I can't wait to.
Oh, yeah.
I hardly get the chance to talk about
I only got one question. I only got one question. What year?
it. And I was nearly undefeated pitcher.
What year?
Tell me your coach.
Woo! I can't remember.
Tell me your catcher.
Connor. Connor. I think my catcher's name was Connor.
No, you're looking at Connor.
Who's on first?
It was Nick was on first.
I'll tell you my.
Anthony was on second.
I don't know. Third
Jimmer
base.
was in outfield.
Smoking Jim, I'll tell the truth to my fans. 7-1, 2 no-hitters, averaged 2 strikeouts an inning. My catcher was the great Greg Kirby.
Really?
Thank you.
What year?
I can't remember nobody.
1968, the year
There you
of the
go,
pitcher.
Joey.
I can't
Do you see how painless
I
that
can't
is?
remember nobody that played baseball. When I played baseball for years.
Yeah, at least 20.
You didn't even know baseball when we started over 9 years ago. I brought up baseball and you said let's talk football.
You didn't even know it was more than 3 innings until I told you.
Again, who was your catcher? And don't look at Connor.
I can't remember.
Thank
his
you.
name.
That's
I
the
played a
first.
long way. I was the only black guy.
No excuse.
All you white guys look alike. You know that machine.
No excuse.
Come on, man.
Next up, thank you, Smoking Jim.
Buddy, Smoking Jim has made his bold prediction about how the Steelers are going to lose on Sunday. I like to just stick with the facts. I also like to fall back on history. So, you know what? My trivia segment today, I'm going to go back 18 years, and it's going to be about football, not baseball.
Whoa.
Sunday, January 5th, 2003. And you know where this guy was right here?
I was at the game.
At Heinz Field. I was sitting at the 40-yard line, about 10 rows up from the field,
That was you.
on the Steelers side, okay? So this was the second postseason meeting between the Browns and the Steelers. Oh, by the way, Pittsburgh won the only prior meeting 29-9 in the 1994 AFC divisional playoffs. Mm-hmm. So game time is at 1 o'clock. The weather that day was a balmy 27 degrees with light snow. Game attendance 62,595. And the game information, it was quite the exciting game. It was probably one of the most exciting Steeler games that I ever went to.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I don't know how many times I got hugged and kissed on the way out of that stadium.
Wow.
It was quite amazing. The game started early in the first quarter with the Browns scoring by Green on a 1-yard touchdown run, Dawson the kick, Cleveland 7-0. Next up in the second quarter, Dennis North cut a 32-yard pass from Kerry Holcomb. Dawson kicked, Cleveland's up 14-0. The crowd got real quiet, and we were starting to whirl.
Smoking Jim left.
Second quarter, Antoine Randall Ells, 66-yard punt return.
I remember that.
Jeff Reed kicked. Then after that, Cleveland's got a field goal, go up 17-7. Then Dennis North cut a 15-yard pass from Holcomb. Mm-hmm. Cleveland goes up 24-7. 24-7. Next up, now this was prior to Ben being drafted.
Right.
And Cordell Stewart had worn out his welcome as Steelers quarterback. Steelers quarterback was Tommy Gun Maddox.
Whoa.
Turnover Tommy, right? Isn't that what you called him? So Tommy Maddox throws a touchdown, 6-yard touchdown pass to Plexico Burris. Jeff Reed kick. Cleveland's up 24-14. Cleveland gets the ball back, kicks a field goal, 27-14. Then Tooman catches a 3-yard pass from Maddox. Cleveland's now up 27-21. And Cleveland, Holcomb throws another touchdown pass to Davis, 22 yards. Cleveland is up 33-21. We're into the fourth quarter, okay? Hines Ward catches a 5-yard pass from Tommy Maddox. Cleveland's up 33-28, and then what is it? What is his name? Foo. What was his first name?
Mr. Chris.
Christian Fuamatu Malafala, and I said that without getting censored.
You did well.
3-yard run. Tooman gets a pass from Randall L. to get the 2-point conversion. Steelers win the game 36-33. An amazing performance from Browns quarterback Helly Coldwell, who overshadowed by journeyman quarterbacks Tommy Maddox, who led the Steelers to 29 second-half points. 22 of those points were scored in the fourth quarter. Wow. A 3-yard touchdown run by Christian Fuamatu Malafala.
Wow.
With 54 seconds left, capped the game-winning drive. We went out of that stadium with the snow falling, screaming and yelling. And you know what I remember the most about that game?
No.
They gave out Franco Harris bobblehead dolls as you were walking into the game. And I remember as I was walking out, mine fell out of my coat pocket onto the floor in the men's room, and the arm holding the ball broke off. Oh. But I collected it up, a little super glue, and it's proudly displayed on my shelf at home.
Really?
So
you
yes,
still got it.
Yes, I do.
Wipe the urine off, and it was good to go.
No, there was no urine on it. No, because see, the difference between Heinz Field and Cleveland Brown Stadium, people go to the bathroom in the urinals. In Cleveland Brown Stadium, they go to the bathroom on the floors and in the sinks.
Yeah. Great point, Chip.
But, that brought me, that I thought about that today, and I was thinking, wow, that was really one of the most exciting football games I was ever at. And of course, that was the third time that year that the Steelers beat the Browns.
Right.
Now, last week, the Steelers played a really good game, and Mason Rudolph played probably the best game of his career. And the one thing that impressed me most about Mason last week, he was throwing such a nice deep ball. I mean, he completed.
He was known for that, actually.
A number of good long passes.
That's why I was hopeful for him.
Just fond memories of the last time the Steelers played the Browns. I don't think the game's going to be that close this weekend, but
we'll finish up more.
Differ on Jim's opinion.
We'll get more
that.
On the Steeler talk at the end. So
there you go.
You got the teaser out there. Mm-hmm. We know where you're leaning.
What's the giveaway?
You're against smoke. You're against Smoking Jim because you're going by my, how I analyze Smoking Jim. Whenever he bets, don't start betting. But if you are, bet the opposite. It's held true. I have friends thank me all the time. They go, will you please find out who he's betting? I go, I hate to set you up. Don't bet. They win all the time. You had that streak a couple weeks ago when you didn't see a $5 bill. And they won thousands. I was feeding my friends at Gamble.
It was bad.
So, all right, thank you, Chip. We're going to carry on. On location. No on locations with all these COVID issues and having a social distancing. Look, we all got our masks on here. Whether they work or not, we're trying to stay healthy. Everybody here is wearing a mask, even Smoking Jim. Contrary to any of his opinions or non-opinions, he's the only guy I know, and we have mutual friends, that doesn't know anybody sick with COVID or died of COVID. He's a rarity in America right now. So, and he also says he's an honest man. But back to On Location, check out the Master Zhang show that we did in October. It's one of the best I ever did. Had North Carolina guys doing that, breaking the 10 boards. I talked to a solicitor the other day that was trying to sell me something, and we started talking. Somehow we got on a TV show that I do, and I said, I want you to check out this Master Zhang, a Taekwondo show. So he went up and pulled YouTube while we were still on the phone. I go, can you talk for another minute or two? He goes, yeah, you weren't buying that subscription, but I can talk to you. You sound like a fun guy. So I go, check it out. He checked out with Master Zhang breaking 10 boards this thick with one kick. So that's my claim to fame. Maybe we'll do some on locations, but we got to talk Steeler talk. So we're going to come back for some great Steeler talk. Thanks for not changing that dial.
I was listening on the radio.
We're back, guys. We got Steeler talk. We're going to do our picks on the Steelers right now. I'll just share mine right off the bat. Steelers were a JV team last week. I don't care even if we got COVID players or whatever else. Steelers will win. I don't know what the score is because I'm not sure which Big Ben we'll have. The one in Cincinnati that looked like he had to retire, or the one against the Colts for 20 minutes. I'm going with the Big Ben with 20 minutes of football. Steelers. Chip.
Steelers, nothing else to say. It's one thing Ben does. He beats the Browns.
And any team in Ohio.
Well, both teams, it's been a long time since they've been in the playoffs. And you know how I push and pump for my Polish American brothers. The coach
You don't
Kevin,
know anybody. Tell me one guy that's Polish and you're friends.
Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of Cleveland, who I think is the NFL Coach of the Year.
Do you know him?
Yes.
And, you know, we know the Pittsburgh Steelers, for some reason, will not employ my Polish American brothers. I got to fight for them like I fight for white cornerbacks in the NFL.
Well, wasn't Wisniewski on the team?
And they got rid of him for no reason.
They did have a Polish guy.
Yeah, and they got rid of him for no reason.
Except an injury.
But here's the difference in the game.
Okay.
You guys all know who the genius is, Bruce Arians. Well, there's a young Bruce Arians that'll be basically the head coach for Cleveland because the head coach got COVID.
Alex Van Pelt.
Alex Van Pelt. Alex Van Pelt is going to turn Baker Mayfield loose. Now, Baker Mayfield's already got 75 touchdowns in 3 years. That's very impressive. However, I would rate Baker Mayfield even right now with Josh Allen and Russell Wilson. But after this weekend,
Wow.
I may have to move him up with Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. That's how good I think this kid could be. I think that Alex Van Pelt will take that conservative offense. He's going to put everything on Baker Mayfield's back, and Baker Mayfield is going to shake and Baker Mayfield his way to 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Did you see the Tennessee Titan game? Did you see the Tennessee Titan game?
No, to refute what you've just said.
I didn't see it either.
Okay? I listened to the experts yesterday. Okay? I'm talking to former coaches in the NFL, former quarterbacks that played in the NFL. And they said the worst thing that could have happened to the Cleveland Browns is to lose the guy that's been calling the plays, because calling plays for a game is something that, you know, the first 20, 25 plays, they're going to be scripted by Kevin Stefanski for Alex Van Pelt. So he's basically going to call the plays that the head coach would have called. After that, play calling is feel and intuition and instinct, and which is something that Alex Van Pelt does not have, because when was the last time he called a game? Can you remember?
No.
Neither can I. So, you know, this is something that you're going to try to take and happen now. He lost a wide receiver to the COVID. Who knows? He may lose another wide receiver.
No.
Because he was drag racing yesterday, and the cop helped him kick the joint that he found on him into the sewer. So where is going to happen? And then he's going to be asked to go make a deposit in a cup. And, you know, will that get him suspended for the game? It should, because if it's still a banned substance in the NFL, then you got to follow by the rules. But of course, rules are not something that Jim wants to pay any attention to.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Well, you already said Ohio State wasn't one of the top 4 teams in college football. I know you wish you had that one back.
No, I don't.
You also said Antonio Brown.
Not.
You also said Antonio Brown lost the step. I'm sure you'd like to have that one back after 2 touchdowns. But listen. The head coach for Cleveland's very conservative. I like him. I like my Polish American brother. But he played football. He was a defensive back for the University of Pennsylvania. I bet you the experts didn't tell you that. Alex Van Pelt played 13 years in the National Football League at quarterback. He's the all-time leading passer, in Pitt history, and he coached Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, okay.
He coached Aaron Rodgers in the NFL.
Right. Okay. In the
And
first
so,
place. In the
keep
first
listening
place.
to them experts.
Okay. So
And I'm going to make money on Cleveland.
13 years in the NFL as a backup quarterback. He wasn't even good enough to make first string.
What? What? You're putting him down for that? 13 years as a quarterback? He knows the game.
13 years holding a clipboard. He knows how to hold a clipboard.
Oh,
So
my
next game we
goodness.
got up. We've got the Steelers and the Browns, and it's unanimous here. Steelers are the chosen winners. Tennessee Titans, Baltimore Ravens. This is a game you could toss a coin on. I think, with the way Ryan Tannehill's been playing, and Derrick Henry is just an absolute animal. But, Baltimore Ravens do have a running offense that is equivalent to what the
Baltimore
what
for
the
me.
Titans.
Baltimore for me.
I take the Tennessee Titans to defeat the
Well, Baltimore got
Ravens
5 in a
last
row.
year.
I
I
think
like
the
5 in a row in the Baltimore.
Well, I think the difference in the game is two things. One, Hollywood Brown got alligator arms and a yellow streak down the middle of his back. He ain't got no heart. So that you rule
He
out
just
the
had
wide
2
receiver,
touchdowns last
and
week.
Lamar Jackson,
He had 2 touchdowns.
And Lamar Jackson hasn't played well in a playoff game. So
Yeah.
I tell you what, I wouldn't count out the Tennessee
That's
Titans.
why I'm
So,
contrary.
and
I'm
the
going
only
with
reason-
Ravens.
The only reason why Jim's not picking the Ravens is because they're not playing the Steelers. Then you got the Buffalo Bills, who happen to be the hottest team in the AFC right now, against the Indianapolis Colts. And I know Indianapolis does have an awesome defense. I think Darius Leonard's back.
Yes.
And he will be playing. And as Jim once said, he's a tackling machine.
Yes, sir.
I still like the Buffalo Bills. I just think their offense is too much. Stephon Diggs is just
I like him.
unbelievable. Stephon Diggs did something no other wide receiver in the history of the football did. In his first year with a new team, he led the league in receiving yards. He led the league in receiving. Wow. Okay, so Stephon Diggs had a monster year. Now we'll go over to the other side of the ball here.
Hold on
Hold
one
it. I
second.
like the Bills.
Hold on one second. Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Make your pick.
I'm confused. I study the bookies. Why is Buffalo only 6.5 point favorites? That's the only thing that got me scared. Do they know something I don't know?
Yeah. Yes.
Why do you think they're the bookies?
Who do you pick? Smoking Jim, who are you
you
picking?
picking?
I love Buffalo, but they're only 6.5 points.
Who are you going to bet?
Huh?
Who are you going to bet?
I'm gonna put 250
Colts.
on Buffalo.
No, I got to change my bet. No, I'll stay with the Bills. Go ahead, Chip,
And
keep going.
next up, we got the Washington football team against the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Woo!
Bucks.
Woo! Super Bowl bound. Antonio Brown.
I'm taking the Washington football team. Chase Daniels is going to introduce himself to Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to watch the rest of the game from the
Chase Young.
sidelines.
Chase Young.
Wow.
Chase Young. Chase Young. He's going to watch the rest of the game from the sidelines.
I go Bucks. Bucks.
Don't come on. Brady's the face of the football.
Jim's going.
And
Who you bet?
Brady's face is going to be planted in the turf.
I thought you said Bruce Arians and Brady wasn't going to get along. That looked like a couple made
They
married.
haven't won anything yet.
Let's keep apologizing to
All right, me and Jim
So
got
again,
Bucks.
it's unanimous. The Washington football team. Next up,
No,
Seattle
Bucks.
Seattle
No, no,
Seahawks
no,
and the
no.
Los Angeles Rams. The Rams limped into the playoffs, and the Seattle Seahawks. I like Seattle in this game. What do you think?
Seattle for
Russell
me.
Wilson's a corny brother. He's a cornball.
So
So I'm gonna go with the Rams.
is Jared Goff even playing? Didn't he have
Aaron
surgery?
Donald went to high school near Gateway.
Penn Hills.
Then last but not least, the New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears. Is this Drew Brees' swan song? Will
Got
he?
my money
Yes.
on the Saints.
Saints.
Yeah, I like the Saints too.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Again,
Last year, we had a special guest.
Let me write this down. Where's my
Dave Cable's son, Sam, was on the show,
You did good.
and he made a bunch of prediction picks. And by coincidence, last year he was here on January 7th, and guess what? We're doing a show again 2 years in a row, January 7th.
What's the chances?
Last year it was a Tuesday.
Wow.
This year, Smoking Jim, you know how the calendar changes and there's a leap year and stuff. And
Taco Tuesday.
so yeah, we're on Thursday. So there's no tacos. We're on Thursday. So I posted up a picture of young Sam with all of us and with me, and Dave Cable, his dad, director of BPTV, sent me his picks. I didn't even have to ask, because as we found out last year, Sam watches ESPN and all the sports he can and loves football. Here's his picks.
Before you do that, I got to say, I'm raising a whole young generation of gamblers. But go ahead. I'm proud of me. I'm going to talk about that in the documentary.
Another disclaimer. Don't gamble like Smoking Jim.
I'm as good as Jimmy the Greek.
And if you start, you can only gamble when you're 18 years old at the Meadows Racetrack and horse racing first. You must wait until you're 21. So all these kids he's talking about an illegal activity, which it's not going to happen. You can't bet. You can bet for fun among your friends like Smoking Jim. If he wants to bet $2.50, bet $1 against him, you will win. I'll hold the money. I'll hold $1 to $2.50. Connor, you got the money. You win. All right, here's the picks. We're running out of time. I'll try to get it in. I'll be slow for Smoking Jim. Here's his winners. Bills. Titans. Bucks.
Ooh, we're on the same page.
Seahawks.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Saints.
I like that.
Steelers.
No!
Thank you, Sam. If you're watching the show, shout out to you. And thanks for picking the winner last year. I was with you. I piggybacked Kansas City. And if you like Kansas City this year, I'm going with them to beat Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl.
Did he say Tampa Bay versus Kansas City this year in the Super Bowl?
No, he didn't give those picks yet.
Do you know who Cowher picked to win the Super Bowl
Coach
this year?
Cowher, Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
what
favorite,
is that?
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He picked the Steelers and the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
He got CTE.
Oh, wait a minute. All of a sudden he's no
Them
longer...
young girls is eating at his brain.
All of a sudden he's no longer a Hall of Famer, right?
He ain't getting them young girls up.
Unbelievable. Smoking Jim, let's get back to the podcast. I want to listen to it. Who's interviewing you?
I'll send you the link whenever I get it.
Folks, even Tony out there, he said Smoking Jim brought the race card out in 2021. This is no surprise, every show, but he's a nice guy.
It'll all be
Here's a simple question for all of you.
It'll all be facts from Smoking Jim's Almanac. 1 hour of facts.
Here's what just like I asked him, his coach, his catcher, he had none because he didn't play baseball. Who is interviewing you? It's a simple answer.
It's going to be a 1 hour documentary. I can't wait. I am so humble. Hey, anytime
He won't tell.
Anytime you get remembered.
Why did they pick you?
Pardon me? I have no idea. It was an honor.
So you don't know who they are, you don't know why, but you're honored.
I'm so honored. 1 hour I get to talk. And I thought it was 2. I was trying to bargain for 2, but I didn't want to.
Oh, it's not Claudio, is it?
Huh?
Because Claudio has you on his podcast, you and Luther Dupree, every week. And he says you two are the best. I think Claudio's interviewing
Well,
you.
his uncle loves me from Italy. Well, he don't
good.
speak English. But he loved me anyway.
Right.
I'm popular in Italy, brother.
Hey, wait. If I may make a say.
Go ahead.
We're coming up on
we're
the
almost out
upcoming
of
hockey
time.
season, okay? The Penguins are in training camp. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. But I want to give a shout out to the United States junior hockey team that beat Canada last night 2-0 to win the World Championships. Well done, young man.
Did they have a PPG on their helmet?
No, that's only in Pittsburgh, Smoking Jim. Just like they named the divisions, they have sponsors for each division. You didn't bring that up, you hockey fanatic. What about that? They sold the division rights. All right, well, thanks for watching our entertaining show. Hopefully we distracted you from the news and the horrific day we had yesterday in United States history. But that's just my opinion. And thanks again for watching our show. We're signing off. Please stay Joey strong.